all that's left is for you to kill my husband. And then we can finally be together.
Don't you dare be a raging hypocrite with me, Thrust! Not after you do the nasty with my mother!
Well, you can just cancel that cattle call, Katie Hun, because I was born to play Cassandra Lovegood. Oh, what are you waiting for? Kiss your bride. You heard your mother.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I'll be doing another episode recap for today's Daysofourlives, August 7, 2024. I hope you guys are doing well. We just suffered a mini storm yesterday in Ohio. I hope you guys are doing well. For my Ohio watchers, I hope you guys are doing well as well. Okay, so let's go into the first scene. So we see where Xander is at the Titan office and he officially took the job as the CEO, his rightful place, and I was so happy about it because this is a long time coming, rightfully deserved, and yeah, I'm here for Xander, right? So Sarah comes in and Sarah's like, I hope you have time for me, your future wife. And he's like, I always have time for you. So at some point she mentions them actually doing a wedding today. So he's all on board. So looks like we're gonna get a Zara wedding today, folks. So we see Brady and Fiona actually did the deed, and there he's just waking up and he's like, wow, this actually happened. So she's like, yeah. So they had a night, folks. So he's getting up, he's ready to get showered and get on with his day. So he's like, oh, Xander's mom. So she's like, you know I have a name, right? So he's like, Fiona, I remember, so he's like, I can't believe that Xander, is really my uncle and all that, but I just really have such, a low opinion of him. And she's like, what do you think about my son? Like, let me know, just spit it out. So he's like, I really want to be tactful, but Xander is a creep. I really, just believe that. So she's like, why you have a low opinion of him? So he's like, because of what he did in the past, which was, he shot me, shot my stepmother, she almost died. So she understands why he thinks of Xander that way. But anyways, that's still her son, and she, she's trying to repair a relationship with him, and she blames herself partly for how he turned out and all that. So he's like, he gets it, parents make mistakes, and he gets it being a parent and having, his children and him making mistakes. So he's like, what? Everybody can turn their life around, even Xander, and Xander has been doing that thus far according to what the streets are saying, and he has a great fiance. So, he does believe that he's capable of changing and all that. So anyways, speaking of Xander, so Xander calls Fiona, right? And he's asking her if she's free today, and she's like, she has some time. So he's like, do you want to attend the wedding today at her apartment? So she's like, she'll be, glad to do so and all of that. And that was it, really. So he heard a voice and he was like, who was that, Mom? And she was like, it's just my friend again. So he's like, I really don't want to talk about that, but if you really wants a +1 to come to the wedding, you're more than welcome. And she's like, nah, it's not the time to introduce him to y'all. It would be really awkward if she did. But that was it really with them, right? So Brady thought that she was gonna out them, but he got a phone call from Xander as well, and Xander was he was saying that, have you been looking at the press release? I took the job as CEO, so I want us to work together. I'm having a wedding later on. And he was like, congrats, Xander. So how does that involve me? So he's like, we need a family member to state the meeting for this press release. So I was wondering if you would be there. So he's like, sure, that's consider it my wedding gift. So he's like, okay, I'm not doing it for you, I'm doing it for Sarah and Xander and Maggie and everybody else. So they hanged up the phone and that was it, right? So anyways, we see Hattie, and she's rehearsing her script for Body and Soul. She's at the pub, so she's trying to get it right. So at some point she is saying, all right, let's go ahead and kill my husband. So she's, rehearsing her lies, but Bonnie came in and overheard it, and she thought that, oh my gosh, Marlena, are you trying to kill your husband? So Hattie got up and was like, I'm not Marlena. So she's like, she took a while to figure out who it was, and then, but Hattie introduced herself as, her old cellmate, because remember they were in jail together. So Bonnie was excited to see her and all that, and they started catching up, and she tells Bonnie that she has a new job. She's gonna be in a soap opera, be a soap opera star, and she's saying that Kate and Abe are still looking for more people to join the cast, because Kayla was supposed to play a certain role. So Bonnie became interested and said that seems like something worth jumping in on. So maybe she wants to be a part of the cast as well. So let's see, right? So let's go on to the next scene. So speaking of Kate and Abe, right, they're at the soap opera. They're at the office, and they're still going through cast, seeing what they can do in terms of auditions and who's gonna join the soap opera in the end. So she was still hesitant about Hattie, and Abe has all 100% confidence that Hattie's gonna pull this through, and she has all the makings to be this character. And he's like, Kate, you just gotta give it a chance. And now they're looking for somebody else to play the role that Abe wanted Kate to originally play. Was, I think her name was Lorna DeLorean, I think that's the name. So she was like, nah, I'm not doing it. So we see Leo dressed up in drag. He's like, let me audition for it. So they were hesitant at first, because like Leo is a class clown in himself, and I definitely was laughing at this scene. This was really funny. So anyways, Kate and Abe decided to talk amongst themselves, and Kate was like, you don't really want to look at a gender discrimination lawsuit, because Abe earlier he said to Leo, like, this part is for a woman and you're a man. And Leo made a case about people can actually play both parts, and back in the day with Shakespeare and all that, men played female and male parts, so it shouldn't be an issue. So anyways, so Kate and Abe decided to give him a chance to audition, and let me tell you, that was the funniest scene, honestly. And he was all dramatic about it, and throwing something at them. And after that, he's like, how did I do? So Kate and Abe was like, no, she was like, this was really terrible, honestly, it was awful. But then he was like, blame the script, and then she was like, she was gonna get Will to do it, right? And he's like, Will, nah, you need somebody more interesting. But they did end up giving him a trial to write the script for the soap opera, and I think he'll do a good job considering Lady Whistleblower, right? So anyways, we see them still going over the script to see more people to audition for today, right? And then Bonnie comes in, and she is there for the part that was originally for Kayla, right? I can't remember the person's name, but she's there and she's ready to audition. And Abe was like, oh Lord, Kay's already thinking this soap opera thing is a whole circus with the hirings and all that. But listen, I'm here for it. So we see Holly, and she's trying to get through the tape, but the reception is not getting through. So she was like, tape pick up. So at some point Maggie comes in, and she was like, hey grandma, you want some tea? And she's like, yeah. They sit down, and she was like, seems like a pretty serious conversation you're having. So she was like, she was trying to get through to Sophia, because Sophia wants her to take up the shift at the restaurant. So she was like, I realized they called Sophia by the name Tate. So she's like, I'm sorry for lying, I just really like Tate, and I just want to check in with him while he's at camp. So she's not being fully honest about where Tate is, and that they've been actually spending time together. So she was like, you understand why your parents did what they did, because you guys can't be trusted. You guys gotta like show them that they can trust you. So she's like, from now on, just be honest with me, right? So she's like, okay, yes, I get it. I'll be honest. So she left her to organize to get Victoria back to her parents, right? So then we see Holly alone, and she's still trying to get through the Tate, wanting to see how he's doing. So then we see Tate actually come into the mansion, right? So Holly's surprised that he's here, and he came over, and she's like, "What you doing here?" So he's like, "I locked myself out of the hardened cabin. I was wondering if I could, get your grandma's key to open it, right?" So she's like, we could get caught, and she's upstairs and all that. So he's like, I was hoping that maybe you can, sneak around to get it. So she's like, "Okay, let's come up with a plan, and I'll follow you back to the cabin, and I'll just bring back the key afterwards, right?" So because she said she had a shift later on in the night, so they can hang out together, right? So we see Maggie come over to Sarah and Xander's place with Victoria, right? So Sarah apologizes because she was on a double shift and she's just really exhausted. So she was like, "I got Victoria, you go nap." So she's like, it's no time to nap because we're having a wedding today. And she was like, "Oh," so she was like, she's excited because she's been wanting Sarah and Xander to get married like yesterday, right? So anyways, she asked Maggie if she would officiate, and she said, "Gladly, I will definitely officiate you guys," right? And she was like, she is happy that Xander actually took the position. But why did she? Because Sarah did ask Xander why he finally took the position, and he was like, "My mom actually was the reason for it, and we're trying to mend fences, and even though I will never forget what she did to me and abandoning me and not telling me about my father, there's hope for them, right?" So Maggie is also happy that they're actually talking, and she'll be coming to the wedding as well, right? So while Sarah gets ready for the wedding, Xander comes in, and Maggie's there, and they begin to talk about him accepting the position, taking his taking over Victor's legacy and all that. And he's really happy about it, and she's also happy because it's something that Victor would have been happy about, right? So he mentioned the fact that his mom is coming to the wedding, and she's happy that they're actually talking and the relationship is on the mend, right? So we see Leo go to the pub. Heidi's out of the pub, and Leo sees her, and he thinks she's Marlena. So he was like, "Hey, how's it going? You want to hang out? You want to watch another episode of RuPaul's Drag Race with me?" So she was like, "Okay, cool," and he gave her the room number and the time and all that. So once he left, she was like, "Who was that?" So at this point, I don't think she really had a clue who Leo was and all that, but Leo thought he was actually talking to Marlena. But this should be really funny between the two of them, because honestly, him and Marlena is funny, but him and Hattie would be extra funny because she's already weird and a lot very silly too. So it would be really amazing to see the two of them. So then we see Holly and Tate in the square, not caring who sees them, and they're kissing. And she was like, "I'm gonna buy us 2 ferry tickets," right? So he's like, "Okay." So he was alone in the square, and he was just walking around. So Brady was on his phone, handling a business call, and they bump into each other. So Brady was like, "Sorry," and Tate was like, "Sorry," but then they look up, and he was like, "Oops," like, "Hi, Dad." So Brady's surprised because Tate should be at Lacoste camp. What is he doing in Salem? So he better have a very good excuse. I knew this was gonna happen, honestly. So we go back to Sarah and Xander's place, and Fiona's over there now, and he's like, "You look lovely," and she's like, "Thanks." And he's like, "Where's your +1?" So she's like, "It wouldn't be the right place for it, so I'm just here to support." So Maggie and her greet and all that, so they wait for Sarah to come in, right? So Sarah joins them, and then Xander is just amazed at how she look. I mean, she already wore this dress at the double wedding, so I mean, I guess nothing's wrong with that. But anyways, he changed into a Scottish outfit, and they begin the wedding, and Maggie officiates, and they say their vows to each other. And I think Xander's own was really sincere, and it was really sweet. I mean, Sarah's own was good, but then I didn't like the part where she was just talking about him making mistakes, and her and don't expect that she won't be mad and all that. I'm like, you make mistakes as well too. Y'all both make mistakes, so just get over it. But anyway, she says she's not gonna leave this marriage. She's gonna work on it. She's gonna fight for him and fight for them and all that. But it was a good, sweet, simple, intimate ceremony, and I'm glad that the moms were there as well. So it was really good. So they are now officially man and wife again. Zara is back on officially. So that I'm happy for, and he's having this position there. So Fiona actually asked him if he was gonna move into the mansion now, considering he has a family. But he's like, anything that Sarah is happy for, I'm right there. So that was it, guys. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel. Comment below your thoughts on today's episode. I will see you tomorrow for an all new recap. Bye.